Hey everyone, I am live today with Anika Awasthi. She is one of my clients. Anika is the founder of Grad Careers Coach, and she helps international students to secure top graduate jobs with visa sponsorship in the UK. And Anika has had quite an amazing 12 months, I think, well, I know. And here today to share some of her insights and her stories about all the hard work that she's done, but also how she has achieved some really fantastic results. So Anika, welcome. I'd love to have a little bit from you about what you do at Grad Careers Coach. And then I'm going to ask you to talk to us about where you were like a year ago and where you are now. And then we can deep dive into how that happened, that transformation has happened.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Emmy. Well, you stole a little bit of my introduction, but I will try.
You can do it better than me. You do it.
So yeah, hi, I'm the founder of Grad Careers Coach, and we are a careers coaching provider. So we help international students to secure top graduate jobs in the UK with visa sponsorship. So long-term jobs and exciting careers in the UK. It's been 5 years since I started. I think next month is our kind of business anniversary, which I can't believe. It's very exciting. And I think what makes us really different is that we have graduate recruiters on our coaching team. So on our team, we have graduate recruiters who recruit for top global firms, for example, Morgan Stanley, Accenture, EY, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch. So they have the industry insight and the recruitment knowledge that international students need. And this is why we're able to achieve such high success rates on our program. Kind of another thing that we do, which is slightly different, is that we provide job offer guarantees. Now, students need to apply, they need to meet certain criteria, but if they do, that is something that we can offer them.
Amazing. So you've already answered a question that I was going to ask you, which is how do you differentiate yourself from competitors? Because that's so important. And I think that's something that we were talking about when we first worked together, is there's always lots and lots of people in the market doing the similar things to what you're doing. And I think what you've done to differentiate yourself is you've connected with these graduate recruiters who are able to give the students so much additional value. And then obviously this job offer guarantee is amazing. So talk to me, Anika, about the transformation. So where were you 12 months ago and where are you now?
I have to think about that. So 12 months ago, it was a month before COVID. It was a month before the whole world changed. And I would say I was feeling optimistic. It was February 2020, sorry. And I was feeling fairly good about the next year. So year on year, we've had growth. It's been kind of steady, and I was feeling good. The thing that I didn't have though this time last year was a way to scale. So I didn't have a kind of a digital offering yet. I knew in the back of my mind it's what I wanted, because I wanted to be able to kind of share, our team's knowledge, our expertise with so many international students, rather than just the students who come and work with us on a one-to-one basis. So I definitely lacked that. I would say I didn't have this time last year a clear strategy and a clear product offering. So things were always changing. We would offer kind of bespoke programs to students sometimes, which would get so complicated. And I definitely felt I was at the cusp. So definitely happy with the way everything was going, had lots of really happy students, lots of great testimonials, loyal students and great referrals, but just needed clarity on exactly where the business is going to go in the next 12 months to 5 years. And just clarity on product and a digital offering as well. I felt like the digital side would just be a kind of bonus if I can manage to do it. But I know you're going to ask me about that. So.
Well, I was going to say, I think you always knew you wanted to do that, because on the first call we had, you were very clear that you wanted a membership or a digital offering, and that you wanted to scale your business. So you were really clear on that. And I think it was something you'd been wanting to do for a long time. You just needed someone to help you get over that hurdle, but you'd already done a lot of the planning in your head. I just remember our first call and thinking, I know you're onto something really big. I knew you were, because I could see that you've got amazing testimonials, amazing case studies and reviews and stories from students who are getting really good results. And it was just a case of you being able to help more students. And I think that's something that we all want to do, isn't it? Not just not just work one-to-one, but how can we share what we know in a bigger way? And so, yeah, so I'm interested to know, like, obviously we can talk about where you are now towards the end, but what do you think are maybe like the one or two main things? Because obviously, your business is currently very successful and you're doing very well. So what do you think it is that has moved the needle?
I think it's a few things. Firstly, I think it's just showing up more, definitely. So I was doing events prior to working with you. I was doing kind of webinars and university events and talks, but they were few and far between. And from I think September 2020, I started to do 4 or 5 events every week, and not huge events. Sometimes it would just be a half an hour YouTube live or a 45-minute group workshop. So all of those things, it added up, and it just became so much easier for me to then keep doing it. So I was then doing it for my students. I was also doing it with partners as well. So working with universities, working with student unions, and doing live events and workshops. And I think just keeping it really simple. So some of the events were just Q&As. So I would turn up for a 45-minute session. Students would come and just type in whatever questions they had. And that was great, to be honest. And I really enjoy them now. And it's part of kind of what I do every single week. So I think that made a huge difference. It's showing up. From a marketing point of view, you'd probably call it touch points, I guess. Yeah. So that helped. And I think it's so difficult sometimes to pinpoint exactly what, but maybe, and you've always said this, there's kind of a time lag between all of the things that you're doing and when you see the results. It's never ever immediate. And actually, that is quite comforting, because you could be sit here watching this and working so hard, doing all the right things, but just know that you might not see the results straight away, but they will appear. It could just take a little time. So
totally. That's so true, isn't it? I think I kept saying to you during coronavirus pandemic, and I know we're still in it now, but like, you've got to keep showing up, you've got to add value, you've got to put yourself out there, you've got to market yourself. The people that marketed themselves in the 2008 recession came out the other end fighting, and you've done that, and you are coming out the other end fighting. And I think you're so right. It's the multiple touch points. If you're selling a high ticket service or offer like we both are, and people have to think about it. They're not just going to buy it, come to your website, see a testimonial and buy it. They're going to want those multiple touch points. And I think because you're going live on YouTube, you've got all these amazing webinars, you're doing strategic partnerships, you've got your quiz, you've got your membership, which we'll talk about in a moment. People have got these students have got so long to know, like, and trust you. And we've actually kind of looked, didn't we, at like all those, you've gone back and said, oh, they did this and they did that, and then they did this and they did that, and then they converted. And they just needed to have that, to build that relationship with you. Totally. And I'm always saying to people that sort of say to me, oh, I put a LinkedIn post out and I got nothing. It's like, it's not just going to be one thing you do. You've got to show up in different places, and actually the webinars and the masterclasses and the challenges and all those things that you do where your students can connect with you and really see the value that you bring. That's, you know, that 20 minutes or half an hour or an hour is so much more valuable in terms of conversing them, because they get to see what it's like working with you in action. So one of the things that you really wanted to do, which loads of people wanted to do, and you inspired me to go on and do this because I always wanted to do it, was you launched your course. And can you talk, I mean, I obviously know the reason for this, but I'd love you to explain to everyone, what was your thinking behind launching like a lower priced membership? There's a couple of reasons, weren't there? But I'd love you to share with the listeners why that was.
Yeah, I think one of the main reasons is just the frustration at not being able to help somebody who maybe doesn't have the budget for a one-to-one program. But I know exactly what they need. I kind of know what information they need, what guidance, what training, what resources. You know, just a few small things can make a huge impact to their results. And, you know, it felt as though we were getting so many leads and we were kind of not able to help the majority of leads that, you know, that we would speak to. So I definitely wanted something that was, you know, affordable, accessible, very kind of huge value, but also nothing that a student has to commit to for a long time. So even the membership now, you can cancel any time. You know, we have an online careers platform called the Launchpad, and yeah, one of the biggest benefits I think is that it is totally flexible. So come in and use it when you do need to use it. And this is important for students because there are times of the year where they're just busy, they've got exams or they've got assignments, dissertations. So having that flexibility, I think, is really important. And we also have we're so confident with, you know, the value that they're going to get by becoming a member that we have a 30-day money back guarantee as well. And it's just a really accessible way for students to get to know us. So once they join the platform, they get to see me during the live events, because we do lots of different things. But one of the things that we do inside the platform is run 2 or 3 live events every single month for our members. And yeah, they get access to me, they get access to, you know, the team, which are these amazing graduate recruiters. We do things like interview past students who've successfully got jobs. And I think that's brilliant because they can hear it directly from, you know, successful students and just be really inspired and motivated. And we also have an immigration lawyer that comes in and talks all about visas and the points-based system and the new graduate routes. So all of these things the student can access for a really low monthly fee, which I'm really proud of and glad to be able to offer that. And some students will then go on and think, okay, well, I've got this, but I think I need more. I think I do need the one-to-one, which is brilliant. And for others, that will be sufficient. That will be perfectly fine. And they're happy to learn when they want, you know, in a really flexible way. So
I think that's amazing, isn't it? We were just talking before this call how, you know, we love working one-to-one with people, but also we don't want to stop sharing what we know and helping people. And actually the group programs or like what you're doing with Launchpad allows you to help people that maybe don't have the budget or it's not quite right for them at the moment. Or maybe they think they don't need your service and then actually they come in and they realize that you're amazing and then they want to make that investment. And so with the Launchpad, I remember you had a massive waiting list, which was amazing, super impressive. But I remember saying to you, this is just a beta test. This is not like, you know, we've got to get it live and we've got to get feedback. And the reason I just want to ask you about this is so many people I talk to, they got this idea for something and they're desperate to launch it, but they won't ever put it out there until it's perfect because, you know, they feel like and when we first started talking, we were like, well, I've got to have all these modules and I've got to have all these things and it's got to be perfect. I said, Anika, honestly, let's just pull it back and let's launch with something a bit more simple, and for it to be a beta test and for you to get feedback. So I'd just love you to talk through that, because I think really that has the thought that it hasn't got to be perfect has enabled you to launch it, and now it is getting perfect and it's delivering loads of value, and you took action.
Yeah, totally. That's one of the best things that I got from working with you. It's just keep things simple and just strip everything back, because I before I started working on the membership side, I just felt I needed to have so much content before launching to make it valuable enough for students to kind of sign up and to learn, you know, so many things. But since then, I've learned actually with kind of online courses or memberships or anything really, you almost don't want too much content, because it can be quite overwhelming, you know, especially for students. A lot of their learning at the moment is online, and you know, they want to have help and guidance in a really digestible, bite-sized way. So from trying to create this, you know, huge content library, I think I just reduced it to, I think, about 7 masterclass topics. So, and that was brilliant, because it just felt really achievable. And I'm constantly adding content. So these events, the live events that I do every single month, they are then recorded and added to our library. So if students want to go back and watch, they can. But you don't sign into the platform and think, whoa, there's so much I have to do and I need to spend hours on this. Best way to use it, honestly, is to spend maybe 2 to 3 hours a week, if you can, on the platform. But even if you just spend an hour a week using it, watching a live event, going through a masterclass, downloading a resource, then that's perfect. Actually, that's you know, that's brilliant. You're going to get lots and lots of value, and you're going to make huge kind of improvements on what you're doing just by using that the platform in, you know, in a small way. So yeah, you don't need a lot to launch. In fact, less is more.
And I think what you did, which was really interesting, is you kept talking to those early members and getting feedback, and 1 or 2 people left, and that's all right, because they left because, I don't know, maybe they had to go back abroad or something happened, but and other people stayed on, and then more people joined, and then they gave you feedback. And I think quite a lot of the feedback, wasn't it, that they really liked the live group coaching and that side of things, which actually doesn't need you to have a massive bank of content, is actually just about you showing up and adding value.
Exactly. It's so true. Yeah, I think people do value live events, being able to join an event and have their question answered live. I think nothing really beats that. And everybody always has questions, no matter what topic you're covering. But, you know, especially for international students, they just have so many things that they want to ask. And this gives them that platform to ask an expert and get their, you know, visa questions or job questions answered live. And that is valuable. So even I think if I just launched with even less content and just kept the live events, I still think that would have been absolutely fine. Yeah.
We're going to wrap up soon, but I just want to ask you one last question. So I know one of the things that we kind of identified and you've been really working hard on was this idea of strategic partnerships. And can you talk a bit more about that and how that's working and why you decided to go down that route?
Yeah, sure. So I really wanted to make sure that what I'm offering, you know, coaching programs and also the membership site, the careers platform, it was just in front of, you know, the right kind of international student, and to be honest, in front of as many international students as you know, as I could. And one of the best ways I think to do that is to work with partners. And you know, there are so many organizations, for example, universities, education consultancies, even language schools that work with huge numbers of international students. They help them, in another area, and they are looking to support them as well in the post-study stage. So actually helping them to find and apply to jobs with sponsorship, and so it's just a real win-win. They're able to offer that expertise, that support, and we're able to kind of get in front of those students at the right time. And if for some partnerships, I'm still in ongoing talks with them about something a bit more formal. So it could be licensing content, it could be a more formal partnership, but others have just been offering events. So again, doing a live Q&A, or tomorrow I'm doing a webinar for a university, and just kind of offering this access, really, this opportunity to kind of share a little bit more about who we are and what we do.
That's amazing. So basically what you've done, and I always talk about strategic partnerships all the time, but you found the organizations or the people that have access to your audience, which are universities, language schools, and education consultants, and they basically need you because you're helping their students to do better. So you're helping their students, but they're also helping you because they're providing you with potential customers and clients and students.
Okay.
And so you're basically turning up and delivering something that's of massive value to them, and in exchange you get to speak to their students. And I think, I definitely put a shout out if anyone knows anyone working in the universities or language schools to get in touch with you, because I think what you've built with Launchpad as well, this membership, that also is an amazing platform and opportunity for partnership, isn't it? Because you're creating all this amazing content.
Yeah, exactly. So we're currently in talks with universities to provide access to our careers platform, because we've built so much content. We have masterclasses, we've got resources, we do live events, and it's just a really easy way for universities to kind of make a huge difference in the employability outcome of their international students. And I think that's only going to become more and more important. And international students, they do see that, well, everybody does, but they really do see their UK education as an investment into a great job and a long-term career. So they really do care about the, employability side of things. And so if we can help universities to deliver on that, if we can improve their outcomes, then that would be amazing.
It's a no-brainer for everyone, really, isn't it? Because I suppose you're right. It's expensive to go to university, and you want to come out. When I went, it was free, but now it's not. And you want to come out of it with a job, don't you?
Exactly.
And yeah, so I think the strategic partnership, where it's a win-win, because you're definitely helping the universities and you're helping the students, but they're bringing, your ideal students to you. It's been absolutely amazing chatting to you, Anika. Is there anything you would like to, there's a couple of comments coming in about a good point about being consistent with your touch points and things like that, which we talked about. I think the touch points and the customer journey, I know we've been through this quite a lot, but making sure you're on brand and adding value at every point in the customer journey is so important. And I know that's something you've really worked on. Anything that you want to share with aspiring founders who are, trying to grow a successful business, because you're doing really well?
It's got to be focused on the mission critical tasks. That's it. So just try not to get distracted. And there's always going to be so many things competing for your time. You're always going to feel like you're running out of time, and there's just never enough hours in the day. But just focus on sometimes even just the 1 or 2 mission critical tasks that you've got to do every single day, and you'll move forward. That's just a given. So that would be kind of my last thoughts. And that's one of the things that I've started to do, over the past 6 months, and it's made a huge difference.
Yeah, well done. It's been amazing working with you. Well done, and wishing you all the best. And hopefully, I can see how partnering up with the universities is just like such an amazing way for you and for them to help more people. So thank you so much for coming on. Anika.
Thanks, Emily.
Thank you.